Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. Move on to the Subclass Series into the next subclass, which is the Oath of the Crown Paladin.
Right.
So if you're new to the channel or to the series, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of the abilities gained in this subclass and then rate it based on its roleplay value, combat value, and overall class synergy, based on how the abilities gained in this subclass improve on the base class abilities. Also, we are doing a giveaway for the new Tasha's book.
Free stuff.
That's coming out soon. So if you want to be entered in that giveaway, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. And, of course, when we announce the winner, if you have a notification enabled for the bell, then you'll actually be notified for the video when we announce the winner as well. So if you want, go ahead and do that. Or if you enjoy the video, of course, you don't have to, want the giveaway. You can just like us, too. That's always nice, too. True love. But that's going to be the main thing there. The book looks awesome. Lots of new stuff in that book. So
lots of work for us
on that one. Yeah, we're going to be doing lots of videos on that. So stay tuned to the channel for that. Right. Regardless. And we'll just jump straight into this one for today, guys.
All right, so with all paladins, they're their own little fun stuff. They do get the tenets to kind of give you an idea of flavor what the subclass is going to play like. For Oath of the Crown Paladin, it's law, loyalty, courage, responsibility. I think, of a servant to the crown kind of thing is where the Oath of the Crown is. You're a soldier, you're a commander of the army kind of thing. That's where the flavor really kind of comes in for the base. You're sworn to duty, that's your thing. So your Oath of Crown spells still kind of follow in, defensive, defend the realm kind of thing. You got command, compelled duel, warding bond, zone of truth, aura of vitality, spirit guardians, banishment, guardian of faith, circle of power, and our favorite Gaius as well.
Yes, definitely some RP options in there for sure.
Quite a few.
Then onto the abilities. First up, we have your Channel Divinity options. The first one being Champion Challenge. Of course, both of these are gained at level 3. You issue a challenge that compels another creature to battle you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. On failed save, the creature can't willingly move more than 30 feet away from you. This effect ends on the creature if you are incapacitated or die, or if the creature is moved more than 30 feet away from you. So it's basically just a alternate version, off-brand version of the compelled duel spell.
Pretty much.
So it is what it is on there. The second option is Turn the Tide. As a bonus action, you can bolster injured creatures with your Channel Divinity. Each creature of your choice that can hear you within 30 feet regains hit points equal to 1d6 plus your Charisma modifier, if it has no more than half of its hit points. It sounds great until you get to that last part there. They have to be basically
below half health
to be able to benefit from it. It's not that much HP to be giving to, I think, warrant that, but we'll get into the details of that a little bit later. Then at level 7, we have Divine Allegiance. When a creature within 5 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to magically substitute your own health for that of the target, causing the creature not to take damage. Instead, you take the damage, and this damage cannot be reduced or prevented in any way. So if you take like fire damage or something, and you have resistance to fire damage, doesn't matter. You're still taking the full amount if you decide to substitute yourself in there for that hit.
Yep. At level 15, you get Unyielding Spirit. So you advantage on saving throws on becoming paralyzed or stunned. Straightforward. Whether that's a spell or some other ability, either way. Yes. Advantage against that saving throw. And then finally, as with, I think, all paladins, you get a level 20 ability. This is Exalted Champion. You can use your action to gain the following benefits for 1 hour. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical weapons, or BPS as I call it. Your allies have advantage on death saving throws while within 30 feet of you, and you have advantage on wisdom saving throws, as do your allies within 30 feet of you. Effect ends early if you incapacitate or die. Once you use the feature, you can't use it again to finish a long rest, so once per day. That is it for the abilities. Pretty simple and straightforward, so we will get right over into the scoring section of the video.
Yes, so first up we have the roleplay value asterisk. As always, when we're talking about the roleplay value, we're talking about interacting with the world around you, interacting with NPCs, non-combat scenarios, non-combat encounters, avoiding combat, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're not talking about acting out your class fantasy, lore, background, history, all of that stuff is on you as a player. Right. So, looking at the subclass on here, there are some definitely RP spells, for sure.
Absolutely.
A lot of them could pretty much be used, barring, I guess, Spirit Guardians would probably not have any time that you would use it as RP sense, but I hesitate saying never, especially with some of these things. So you can be very creative with these, but pretty much all of these can be used in some way, shape, or form in RP sense. So definitely solid on the spell side of things. The abilities with the champion challenge, again, getting, if someone steals something from you, for example, and you challenge them, and
You have to
they can't run away.
Right. The rule is, though, you have to carry around a white glove so you can then smack them with it.
Yeah, you gotta have something on there.
That's how that had to be done flavor-wise.
And stuff like Unyielding Spirit, Paralyzed and Stunned can come into play. Like if you're fighting some super powerful wizard or trying to negotiate with the wizard and you offend them and they try to like hold person you or something because you like made them mad. Well, guess what? You got advantage on that.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's some niche uses on that, but again, not a whole lot going on with the RP side of things. I guess too, technically, if you want to get into it with Exalted Champion, it does last for an hour, and if you're going into some kind of lair or something, having advantage on wisdom saves can be pretty good situationally. But again, I would say wisdom is probably one of the more RP-y kind of like spell saves. Because a lot of those wisdom saves are, dealing with your mind and stuff like that, like trying to charm you and things like that.
Yep.
So
which is odd to me. I figured like a charms would be like a charisma saving throw, but usually they are wisdom saves against it. Yeah, which is unusual, but whatever.
That's what it is.
Of course, with paladins, they also do get the little bit of a bonus we give with tenants.
Correct.
Toward their RP, which is, I think it's interesting thing that paladins specifically have that because it goes with the base class of being like, rules to live by, and they have their code essentially.
Right.
So those get a little bit of bonus to RP, usually get that extra half kick for the tenants as well.
So all of those things being included, we went with a 3 out of 5 for the RP. Not crazy, not the worst.
It's fine.
It gives you some options that you wouldn't otherwise have access to.
Really, the spells are probably your most consistent RP selection. There's a lot of RP.
Yeah, there's a lot of
spells.
definitely RP options in there. And some of the abilities, while they could be used in RP, they're going to be more on the niche side for that kind of
They're
stuff.
not geared toward RP.
Right.
Over to the combat side of things as well. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
And it's something that he and I have talked about multiple times when some of the stuff out of this book. I think it's obvious that this was the first book they made after releasing the original Player's Handbook. Is a lot of the classes in this book I think are undertuned when you come to compare to some of the ones in like Xanathar's Guide, for example.
There's a couple that made the cut that are pretty solid. But
right.
Most of them are pretty simple.
Right, because a couple of the ones that are in here that are better are reprinted in Xanathar's Guide. Like we looked at Swashbuckler Rogue, for example. They got reprinted, so that got done in another book. Anyway. Rabbit hole.
Tangent.
Yeah. But I say that because while they're flavor-wise, this is an interesting paladin in terms of it definitely feels unique as a subclass choice for paladins. Very, soldiery based. Your Turn the Tide only letting you work with below half health targets. Yeah. It's not super exciting. You don't have a lot, it's not like your Lay on Hands heal that you have a pool to pick from the day. Right. You don't have a lot of Channel Divinity uses as a paladin to get 1d6 plus your charisma mod, which is not even going to be your main stat. It'll be your second stat behind your strength as a paladin. Yeah.
If not, if not con.
If not, tied for second with cons. Like 90% of the time, most paladins aren't going to have past a +3 on their charisma most of the time. And then also, that's all you get all the way until level 7, which is you're choosing to take damage for somebody else. You have to be within 5 feet of them. Because I'm thinking, when I read this, first thing I think of, okay, you could save a sorcerer, save a wizard from taking a big hit. Well, Vark, if you're in 5 feet of that wizard or warrior, they're probably not playing their wizard or sorcerer right.
Yeah, something bad is happening.
So either you're in super close quarters, so that's you're in a tight room or whatever, or somebody's not doing their job because they shouldn't be close to anything at any point in time. And the damage can't be prevented, like Jameson said. If you're trying to be strategic about it, and your race gives you a damage reduction, or you have a magic item that gives you damage reduction to certain things, I think you should be allowed to use that. And if I was a DM, I would probably drop that last sentence out of there at the very least.
There's a couple of these that you could drop the last sentence off and it would make them quite a bit better.
Right, yeah, the no more than half hit points. Yeah, I would do that one too, just because 1d6 plus 3 hit points is not game-breaking to let them have when they've only lost 12 health to start with.
And it's Channel Divinity, you only get your limited usage of those anyway, so it's not like you're going to be doing it all the time.
It's not a bonus action every turn or anything. Right. at level 50, you wait all the way to level 15 just to get advantage on saving throws against paralyzed or stunned.
Yeah.
Like, it can be helpful when it happens, but you might go days. You might go sessions before you specifically have to save against one of those two specific. Yeah. If that was like an advantage on saving throws against any condition, okay, that would be kind of cool. And something that nobody else has, that exact wording, like any condition, that'd be kind of interesting. It'd be better, but anyway. And finally, at 20, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't know if it's fine. I mean,
it's not fine.
you get resistance to BPS from non-magical, not just all BPS. Right. Only non-magical.
So BPS. Barbarians get that at 2.
Yeah, with rage.
When they rage. Advantage on death saving throws. Like, you hope that's not ever coming into play. It's going to some, but you would hope not. Advantage of wisdom saving throws is helpful, but baseline paladin gives you, auras that help with that, and other paladin auras at level 7 give you resistance to magical damage at level 7 and 10.
Yeah, you're the lack of aura is very disappointing.
This is one of the 2 paladin subclasses, not counting UA, that does not give you an extra aura, because Oath of Vengeance is the other one that does not.
Yeah.
Out of PHB. So a 2 is what we went with out of here. But while a lot of these abilities are geared toward combat, like Jameson said, you change take away the last sentence or just change 2 words. You could give it extra at least 1.5 stars.
Yeah, it could be significantly better.
To the just take off the more than half hit points, take off the damage can't be prevented or reduced in any way, and then change that to all conditions.
Yeah, or even just say immune to being paralyzed and stunned.
I'd be totally fine with that. Would not be game breaking or busted to have that.
So all that being said, moving on to the overall class synergy.
I went a little long.
It happens. We ramble sometimes.
We do.
But that being said, we kind of covered most of the bases on here as to why things aren't so great on the combat side of things. And I think a lot of that actually rolls over into the synergy as well. Just because, with synergy as a I almost said cleric, paladin, your channel divinity options are extremely limited as a paladin. So they need to be very impactful, I would say, for them to have good synergy. Also, as a paladin, the other thing you're going to have major synergy with is going to be your spells. Though most times paladins are going to focus on smiting for their spell slots, just because, you get in there and you're hitting and crit confirming smites is a big thing as a paladin.
Right.
So that's a big deal. But having some options outside of just straight damage is always good to have. But that being said, a lot of these aren't going to be super useful in a combat sense. They're very, very RP focused. There are some decent things here and there. Like banishment can be good to have just to have it.
Sure.
It's never a bad thing to have banishment option.
Nope.
But
have used it by fair share of times.
Yes, it's definitely solid.
He does not like it when I do that.
But it's. I won't beat around the bush too much. We gave it a 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 5.
2 out of 5, yeah.
So it's all right. But like I said, with Channel Divinity being what it is, I feel like we both feel like it's pretty lackluster for what it is.
Yep.
The spells, while they're interesting, aren't going to be super impactful most of the time. Because again, the main thing is, like Alex was saying earlier, your charisma is probably not going to be that high.
Correct.
So even if you take some of these spells like Banishment, the saves aren't going to be super high for them to be made anyway. So you probably would be better off using them just for smites and things like that, where you're guaranteed that they succeed.
Spells and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's what it is, guys. This is the Oath of the Crown Paladin. It's definitely interesting, but we feel like it's a little undertuned or overly restricted.
Either way, that's the friendly way of saying it.
Yeah. It definitely is interesting and could be a bit better, like if we said you just took a couple of those little asterisks off of some of the abilities.
Again, then this is the kind of thing where a great example of kind of talk to your DM if you really like the flavor of this paladin. But you're like, hey, could I do this? Hey, could I do this? Sometimes your DM will kind of let you do things like that.
Right.
And that's kind of up to every individual game's discretion. I mean, there's a lot of gray area with the way the rules in D&D 5e are written and abilities and things like that. So you can kind of...
They're written more as a suggestion than a hard rule. Although a lot of people can be very... I found, too, on the internet. It's kind of crazy. People are very rules, lawyery, especially on the internet. So
yeah,
some people are very into that kind of stuff. Other people are a little bit more...
liberal with their things.
Yeah.
Free-spirited.
Yes. it is all about having fun anyway. So
It's
whatever
at
floats
the end
your
of the
boat.
day, it's a game. Have
That's
fun
true.
playing it.
Yes, exactly. But that's going to wrap it up for this one today, guys. Remember, we got that giveaway for Tasha, so make sure you
free
like,
stuff.
comment, subscribe down below. Let us know what you want to see from us in that new book. We'll be doing a poll very soon. I'm probably going to do it the week of or the week before the book comes out, so keep an eye on that. So we'll know what you guys are really looking forward to in that new book. Of course, we're going to do subclasses. That's a given. I mean, all the other stuff you want to see from that book.
I'll
'Cause
vote
there's a lot.
too, because I always do.
But I think that's going to be all for today, guys. As always, thanks for watching.